Hey, it's Nay. Welcome to Hey Nay. So, the topic for this episode is politics and dating. With the upcoming 2016 election, I thought it would be fitting to do this topic. I know some people have already voted, and I know some people have yet to vote, but I do know that politics is a thing that a lot of couples sometimes have a hard time going through. So I know some people who have just formed relationships this election year may be facing this issue, and I thought it would be appropriate to do this topic. Here are the questions. What do you do if your significant other truly believes one of the major candidates is a good person? So, for instance, they believe that Hillary is a good person or that Donald Trump is a good person. And I think there's nothing wrong with people um, believing believing in someone else. It's understanding the reason behind it. Why do you believe this person's a good person? Why do you believe that this person is the best person to represent our country? And obviously, I'm talking mostly just for the United States, but this can apply to other countries as well. But like, why do you believe that this person is fundamentally good? And try to get their reason. Try to understand. Try to see different sides and different point of views. Um, and it's kind of hard to have this conversation to start it. But if politics is something that's important to you, you know what I mean. If this is something that of great value to you, you should discuss it. You should really discuss it. It does become a thing if you're just avoiding it. But like I said, just trying to understand the reason and being open to hearing their point of view. What if one of you is very left and the other is very right? Great question. Okay, so I've actually know of a couple of, actually, I was going to say a couple of couples. Yes, I know a couple of couples who are politically different, vastly. Um, and I don't think one of them is still together, but the other couple is. And I think what they do is that it's sort of like respecting each other's viewpoints. So, you know, I think this is what I believe, and this is what I stand for, and I believe that this party is a party of the future. They, you know, they're looking out for what's right, and I stand by them, and I hope you can respect that. And I think they do. I think you just have that respect. Um, and I think that's okay. I know it can be a little touch and go, and I know it can be weird. Um, and again, like I said, if it's very important to you, it's something that you have to discuss. You have to figure out. Um, I know some people cannot let go of their beliefs. Okay, and I just want to touch upon this again. Okay, so I'm just gonna get a little bit deeper into this. Why do you believe in what you believe? Um, this applies to politics and religion, but I'm just going to talk about politics in this episode. But why do you believe in what you believe? Do you believe it because that's what your family believes? Do you believe it because that's just all you know, or that's the way you raised, or the way your family has explained it to you believes you think that it's of the best interest of you as well? Um, I always, oh my gosh, if I could just remember the philosopher who said this, but they said something like, um, you know, you know, the wisest person is the person who knows that every yes or everything that is right is different. Something like that. It's sort of like, you know, every there are more than one essentially there's more than one answer to a question. That's exactly pretty much what it is. That there's more than one answer to a question. And that um, if your question is this country needs help and that this person or this party is the answer and is the only answer, then I think that's something that you need to rethink about. I always say try to be an informed voter. That is very important. I'm going to talk about that more before I end this episode. But I'm going to go to the next question. Should politics even be discussed in a relationship? Yes, it should be. You should not avoid it. I just don't think you should avoid it. If it comes up, it shouldn't be the first date talk. I don't think, but you should definitely talk about it, especially if you're very serious with this person. You should discuss it because you should know who you are spending time with and what they believe. I do believe that some people's beliefs are an indication of who they are, and you should know who you're with. So I guess essentially who they support, and understanding that support is important to sort of get to know the person. You know, I think avoiding it causes more harm than good. So tackling it is good. And if you're both, you know, very smart individuals, you could have an intellectual discussion about it. Hear each other's sides. Maybe it may influence your viewpoint, or it may influence your vote. Have good discussions. I know I have great discussions with my friends, and I enjoy that. I know there are certain friends who I cannot talk about politics with, because they are not open or they're not receptive, and they can sometimes be a little bit unreasonable. But I know that I do have more friends than few that are open and that are receptive, and that we can have different viewpoints or different looks and still have a positive discussion. And I think that's important. Um, and that can also apply to, you know, intimate relationships, with your significant other. You can have positive conversations with each other and then not dampen your relationship, And I know it's hard because this election is unlike any other. And virtually both candidates are not well liked generally. Okay. There are people who are hardcore supporters for both, which is understandable. But I want to say there's a good majority than usual of people who do not like either major candidate. Now, yes, there are other candidates that you can take into account, and if you do your due diligence and you look into it, and you make your decision, that's up to you. But I think when it comes to the major candidates, it's murky. It's a murky situation because you may believe that neither one may be fit to be president, and trying to figure out which is the best can be a hard decision. But I think this is the perfect time to be having these discussions. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you don't really feel that strong about either candidate, why don't you hear what other people have to say? Why don't you listen to them and check it out? I cannot tell you how much CNN I have watched over the past 10 months. It's ridiculous how much. Like, if you just looked at my history on YouTube, you would see that there's just so many CNN videos that I watch. And I watch everything. I watch things with Trump supporters. I watch things with Hillary supporters. I watch all those things. And I just think it's important for me to know and understand both sides and hear what both sides have to say. I just think it's important. I believe in being an informed voter, and this is what I'm going to say before I start ending. Um, an informed voter means that you listen to both sides, that you gather up factual information, and you make the best choice based on that. Now, to take it a step further, as an informed voter, you should be thinking about the best interests of the many and not the few. So essentially, I believe that, um, you know, I am not looking for a president that's going to help me out. No, that's not what I'm looking for at all. Because if I was, I'd probably really find a person. But I am not looking, you should not be looking for the president that's going to help you out. You should be looking for the person that's going to help your neighbor out, that's going to help your town out, and your city, and your country, that should help the majority of everyone out. You know, that person that's out there on the street, help that person out. That those people you see on the bus, or that those people you drive next to on the highways, those people. What is going to help the majority? What's going to help the many? And sometimes that means that you may not necessarily get what you want. And you have to understand that, because we cannot all be appeased. We cannot all get what we want, because we all want different things. So trying to find the person who's the best for everyone as a whole is sort of what you should be looking for. But again, being an informed voter means keeping up on both sides and checking everything. Like I said, I watch both sides. I watch videos with just both sides, with both sides together, and all that stuff. I watch all of it. So I believe I have a good handle on what's going on in this election. I believe I have good reason and good support to make an informed decision. And I know some of you are wondering, like, oh, like, well, who would you vote for? Nay. The person I would truly want to vote for is not a major candidate. It's actually not a candidate at all anymore. Those of you know who that person is. And I will remain a supporter of that person, but I am aware of the reality of our situation, and I will vote wisely. So go out there, happy voting, and, what would be the best thing for you to do is to vote with your significant other. The two of you go together to vote. And, you don't have to share who you voted for, but you can talk about it. Okay. That's all I have to say. Like, share, love, and remember to always start your day off with a hey. Goodbye.